What's up, everybody? I'm Nolan. I'm owner lead brewer here at Transparent Brewing Company, and we got Nigel with me as well, the taproom manager. So we released Sock Hop last week, so wanted to sit down and spend some time kind of going over the beer with you and analyzing it. So I think I got to say, and you agree with me or don't, I think this is one of our most anticipated beer releases every single year.
Oh gosh,
yeah, it's
pretty. 6 months ago, people
yeah,
were
well,
asking for
I was just saying, leading up to the release this year, I think Connor was getting phone calls every week from somebody asking if it was out yet. Everybody in the tap room is always like, "Hey, when's Sock Hop coming back? When's Sock Hop coming back?" And it was delayed a little bit this year. Normally it's the beginning of August, but we were kind of worried about anniversary stuff and trying to get walt barrels and everything on tap. So, but Sock Hop is here. So,
I got a question though.
yeah.
Why is it so popular?
Why
do you think that is?
I don't know. I think honestly part of it comes down to just cream ales. I mean, cream ales are just such a simple, easy drinking beer. I think if you ask any craft beer drinker that's been drinking for at least 5 years, 10 years, they've got some kind of a story about how a cream ale probably initiated them into the craft beer community, because it's a good step.
Easy to get into.
Yeah, it's an easy step away from the domestics that's got a little more flavor, a little cleaner, but also you're not diving straight into IPAs or stouts or whatever else. For me, Genesee cream ale when I was in school.
Oh yeah, the old
at school in New York.
Classic,
that was when we wanted to spring for some good beer. We went and got a 12-pack of Genesee cream ale.
Fun fact: there's no cream in this beer, so
yeah, for sure.
Which sometimes throws people off. They're like, "Oh no," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So speaking of that, if anybody wants to look up more about cream ales themselves, BJCP, so Beer Judge Certification Program, has a whole set of guidelines, and we'll link that in the YouTube version of this video. But this is classified as 1C, so it is a American cream ale. So if you want to learn more about the flavor, the aroma, the ingredients, anything specs on this beer, go visit the BJCP website and look up 1C cream ale. So definitely a good reference for any style of beer for trying to figure out what they should look, smell, taste, feel like, all of that fun stuff.
So is this one of the styles that you like? Is that why you brewed it?
It's not one that I go to regularly, but it's definitely, like, again, it was a big transition beer for me as far as getting into the craft beer side.
You don't see a lot of them around.
You really don't. You don't. I think it's an underrepresented style, but I think that they're kind of making a resurgence. The industry is kind of shifting to that lighter side of things, so it really does feel like a lot of people are starting to play with cream ales again and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, so on to Sock Hop. So obviously not a traditional cream ale, right? It's a vanilla cream ale, and it everything about the beer aside from the added flavors is very traditional, but that vanilla definitely takes it over the top in a completely different way. I've got the way that I describe it, but how do you always talk to customers about this one?
It's like cream soda.
Yeah.
But with alcohol in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that smooth.
Yeah.
You could probably give it to a child. I don't suggest that, but you probably could.
Yeah.
I mean, what was your thought process in saying, let's add, I mean, it makes sense adding vanilla to it. What was your thought process?
So honestly, the actual idea for this beer came from back in the day when I was brewing for Fossil Cove. So every year they do an orange cream ale, and it's like a creamsicle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so just kind of took that whole flavor profile and idea and tried to tweak it the best that I could. And the vanilla was a good change to it. And I wasn't really shooting for a cream ale, but after doing the beer for the first time, that's really the flavor description that really came to my head. So. Like I said, the cream ale is just such a basic style. It's really easy to add flavors to it and all of that. So, I know. You've talked about Woody. Shout out to Woody over at Vine Street. Yeah, that was one of his first home brews as well, right? He said he always kept it on.
He always he showed up at the festivals,
right?
He always did a cream ale, and now they have one at the brewery for the first time.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So we have to send some down to you, Woody.
For sure. Well, I'll have to get out there and try the cream ale too. I've not had Woody's cream ale before, So okay. So anyway, so talking about Sock Hop. So this is actually a pale, mostly pale malt base, a little bit of Pilsner, and then a touch of Vienna. So that Vienna really brings in those gold notes. You can kind of see it's not just a straw character. There's a really nice gold character. We got some super nice clarity on this one. I mean, you could read a book through this if you wanted to. Which just Cal Ale yeast. Cal Ale yeast is really nice at cleaning out and just a super clean fermentation as well. So let's dive into the nose and see what we got here.
the nose pops immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like cream soda. If you closed your eyes, and put cream soda in your nose,
for sure.
Not in your nose, but smell, you know what I'm saying.
You get all of that vanilla character.
Yeah.
So every 5-barrel batch we do gets a pound of this year. We use Madagascar grade A beans this year. So and I think that's what we've used last year. Maybe the year prior was like Tahitian, but super similar profiles on both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of vanilla on the nose. There is kind of some corny character. I don't know if you've picked that up or not.
Yeah.
That, some styles you don't want that with the cream ales. That is definitely as part of it.
Yeah.
It's a common character in those. And there's even some kind of grassy character too, which I think comes from the Pilsner malt that's in it. But just super nice and clean.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously some really nice crackery notes as well too, with that really light malt base. And just what we're looking for, no off flavor, off aromas, which is you shouldn't find any of those on any of our beers, and not that to my knowledge we haven't had any yet. So hopefully, knock on wood, that keeps going.
You can spoil yours because you got a pretty good head.
Yeah,
I got a full pair. You got a half full.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I gotta work today. Nigel's actually off today. He came in to take care of this.
This
so.
is technically working.
True. We're working a little bit. Just a little bit.
So we go in.
Yeah.
Again, that vanilla just kind of pops.
Yeah.
And the name cream,
Yep.
it's that's what it reminds you of.
Mm-hmm.
It's super. The mouth feels super soft.
Mm-hmm.
Got some effervescent, got some some refreshingness to it, but at the same time, it's like, how is a beer that flavorful and that refreshing?
Right.
Because this creaminess kind of, you would think would be heavier,
Yeah, for sure.
but I think it's more of a perceived heaviness.
It
Because it's
is.
a light beer.
It is. It's a very light beer. And so a lot of that creaminess is actually lactose. So in the cream ale, in general, you're doing 20% either corn or, other sugar additives. So we do lactose in this to give it that really creamy body. And the surprising thing about it, this is carb to pretty standard to, maybe a little bit higher than what you would most beers, but that lactose comes in and just kind of softens that sharp crispness of the carbonation and really just creams, makes it just super soft and smooth, like you were saying.
It's well rounded. It's from front to back. Because a lot of times because I've had some cream ales on the back end. You're like, well, there's something weird about that or whatever.
Right.
This is crisp, clean, and creamy all the way through.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's well rounded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
I like
makes
it. And I think part of that too is the so obviously with a lighter beer like this, a lot of that malt character is going to be on the flavor more so than the aroma.
Yeah.
So aroma wise, it's vanilla, very vanilla forward. But when you hit that flavor, the vanilla softens a little bit.
Yeah.
You get more of that maltiness, a little bit of that corniness,
yeah.
the grain. Some you do actually get some like kind of grainy characters to it, that crackery character. But all of that kind of really just blends together and then is softened out by that creaminess, the lactose, and it's a great mouthfeel on this. It's not coating it's coating while it's in, but then it cleans up really quickly.
Yeah, it's gone.
It doesn't just sit there and coat your mouth and be slick for the next 20 seconds after.
I did love in the BJCP description of it. They used the word corny, which is not a word we get to use very much.
Well, other than to describe our sense of humor here, but
that's not even a word we use anymore. Corny. I'd use corny. That's that's more of an '80s term. But I love that they use it, and somebody probably thought that was funny and put it. It's a corny character.
Maybe we need to brew another cream ale and just call it corny character.
That
might be good. Just a basic
corny characters.
There you go.
Because then the graphics could be a bunch of maybe get some of probably some of our regulars in caricature form.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We could definitely take care of some of our regulars in that one. So, but
no, this is easy drinking.
Yeah, the one the thing that surprised me about this as well is it is 6.5%.
That's the surprise.
Yeah.
So if you put that in front of me, I'd be like, what's that, about 4.5?
Yeah, high fours, low fives.
Yeah.
This is a 6.5% beer, and it will, trust me, I've been brewing this for 10 years now, and it's snuck up on me a few times on my own too. So it's definitely a really, really sneaky and unsuspecting beer.
So is this something you've been doing it for 10 years? You've only had a brew for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a style you knew when you opened you were going to do a cream ale or something like that? Or
yeah, I think this was one of those recipes that I had that I was pretty sure was going to be something. I don't think we didn't brew it for. I think it came out very shortly after we opened, if I remember. I don't remember when the first batch was, but it was pretty quickly after we opened, and it was immediately a hit. I think this holds the record for fastest selling batch of beer. We did a 5-barrel batch of this in 21 days, the first time we released it. So it was one that I knew was going to be a popular one, but I don't think I realized how popular this beer was going to be.
As a lot of them happened to.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we are.
It's hard to predict that. I've got my flavor profile that I really enjoy, and I can't speak for the industry and the consumers and everything. So they definitely made the decision that this was going to be a regular every year. So yeah, it was one that I wanted, but again, I don't think I was aware of how popular this beer was going to be.
No, it's super. I mean, there's I forget his name. There's one guy who comes in every time he comes in, sock hop, bro. Not yet.
That's all he's going to drink.
Every time.
It's gone.
I mean,
too,
I mean, he's been here since it's been out, probably 4 days.
Yeah. Well, that's
coming into.
Be nice if people were willing to drink other things too, but hey, everybody has their styles they like. So.
I mean, here we are.
Yeah,
I mean, if nothing else about our regulars, we know there's certain things they're always.
Oh yeah.
They'll get the offshoots. I mean, but here we are.
Yeah.
But no, this is a really nice beer. Let's talk about, because I'm interested in how it came about, the coffee sock hop.
Okay. Yeah. So the creation of that was kind of just by accident, to be honest with you. So the Chive, we do brunch Saturdays and Sundays, and they always make full pots of coffee anytime somebody orders it, right? So sometimes there's coffee left over, and with their sustainability focus, they always try to find a way to repurpose anything that they may not be using in a traditional way, in the future. So what they would do is they'll actually reduce down that coffee, add some sugar, and just make a coffee reduction out of it. And I don't remember exactly how or what, but one day we had some coffee reduction. I think it was for a different beer, and we kind of squirted some in the sock hop, and we're like, oh wow, yeah, that just makes sense, right? So it's worked out well. It's one of the popular ones whenever we have sock hop around. Everybody comes in for brunch and is like, give me one of those coffee sock hops. So it's about I think it's 1.5 ounces of coffee reduction into the sock hop. It brings the sweetness up just a little bit. It adds all that coffee aroma, and then you've got the vanilla from the beer itself. So it's just a super nice breakfast cocktail to have. So come in Saturdays and Sundays while we got this on tap. There's coffee reductions always available, and we'll have that cocktail around for a little beer cocktail.
Yeah,
are there really cocktails now? Is it just beer? There needs to be just a singular word made for these.
Cold beer.
Okay, that'll work. I'll take it.
Coffee takes it to another level.
It does.
It's a really good beer, and if you're into coffee. I mean, there's something about it that, it's a weird it's not a weird combination, but it fits very well, and it just takes it to another level.
Everybody adds creamer to their coffee, and it's French vanilla creamer or caramel or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea, but concentrated coffee rather than the concentrated creamer or sugar with all the flavors and everything to it. So just that hand-in-hand flavor profile that really works together. So
when you come try one of those, it's definitely a winner.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Brunch Saturday and Sunday from 10 to noon, or those are available. And, if you sweet talk the bartenders, they may do it outside of brunch.
I would. Why not?
Yeah. I'll let you guys do your thing. I'm not behind the bar anymore.
Yeah.
So,
So the real question is, this is the real question, because we know this is a popular beer.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's out in the wild, but at the brewery, over under, how long do you think it's going to last?
Oh, I don't know. So like I said, we released about 3 weeks later than I want. We've got some residual from batches that went out to distribution. I'm gonna give it 40 days.
Okay.
And that's probably a high guess. It may be 30. So get in here quick. If you haven't had this beer before, definitely come get it. If you have and you want it, you come on in.
But it's in the wild though. So.
It is, yeah. So we are distributing this one. It's on in a few accounts. I'm not going to be able to retain them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Maybe we can put a list together. We'll put them in the description on the YouTube video. But yeah, this beer is out in the wild. We are distributing it, so it's in Kansas City greater metro area at a few accounts right now. So if your local bar does not have it and you want them to carry it, start asking for it.
There you go.
We're with Breakthrough Beverage, and they can order through them and definitely get some stuff in. So
cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you to all of you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We do have a little bit of homework for you guys. We don't know what to call these segments. So we're trying to figure out a name for this. The one that came to my head was like transparent tasting corner or something like that. But we want you guys to help us out a little bit. So drop in the comments what you think the name of these tasting segments should be. And we'll definitely on the next one compile some of those and put the best ones out there, and then maybe we can do a vote or something later on.
And we'll acknowledge the worst ones as well.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, so, you're gonna get props for being bad too, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
PG though.
Yeah, it does. We are a family-friendly place, so it has to be a family-friendly kind of name. So,
all right, cool.
Anyways, awesome guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you in the tap room.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.